Good afternoon and welcome to Stellenbosch's Markotter Stadium, where we're preparing for what should be an outstanding match between Bishops and Paul Roos Gymnasium. A game that dates back to 1878 when the first match was played between these two schools, a match that Bishops won by 15 goals to 0 back then. And joining me in the commentary booth today, Tariq Abram, thank you for being here.
Thanks, Andres. It's a pleasure to be here. As you said, the game dates back to 1878. That's around about 139 years. Can you imagine the amount of generations of rugby players that have played on this ground and have played at Bishops in a game like this? I'm sure that there are many stories to be told.
Tariq, just looking at the excitement building before this match kicks off and looking back into the history of both these two proud schools, Paul Roos Gymnasium produced 51 Springboks, the latest of which is Willie Leroux, Francois Hougaard, Skalk Brits now in London playing for Saracens, and of the older ages, Justin Swart and Kobus Visagi. All of them very, very proud old boys of Paul Roos Gymnasium. And then Bishops, 43 Springboks in their long history. The latest of which is Dylan Lates, who has been enormous for the Stormers this season.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Dylan Lates he's certainly come of age this season, and just watching him play it's almost as if he's found himself. He's got this aura about him that whatever he touches is going to turn into gold, and that's maybe why he got that Springbok call-up.
Yeah, he's been amazing. And then just looking back, Francois Lowe also playing in the UK at the moment. Nizam Carr has been outstanding throughout his whole career. And Anish Mangi, another Springbok from this proud school. Robbie Fleck now coaching the Stormers, and then someone who wants his name to get called out is Christian Stewart. Amazing rugby player in his day. And also joining us today, manager from Bishops, is Dean Stelling. Dean, thanks for being here.
It's a pleasure, guys. Big day today. It's my 22nd visit here as a Bishop schoolmaster. So through the years, nothing beats this atmosphere. The Bishop side up against Paul Roos. We know the tradition. The players that Tariq and Andres have just spoken about, I taught most of them, and I just know what humble gentlemen they are. Now, the Bishop side, as you see them run on, it's a typical Bishop's tradition. They don't run onto the field in a line, they run on from behind the poles, they don't wear numbers, and the part of that is the ethos. The ethos of our school is that you don't play for yourself, you play for the team. And a special mention today for Richard Smith, the coach of the team, who was involved in a tragedy on the 19th of June this year. He is amazingly recovered from literally being in a very, very, very bad critical condition. He's lying in his hospital bed at the moment, watching this game, and I tell you right now, there's only one person who's more nervous than anyone here today, and that's Rich.
Perfect, Dean. Thanks for being here, man. Just having a look at the team makeups here, Tariq, having a look at the players on the field, it looks like Paul Roos will have a little weight advantage in the forwards, but exciting backline in Bishops that they have. And also the fact that they don't kick a lot of rugby ball throughout their school careers, it enables them to run with the ball quite well in hand.
No, absolutely. And I think we're going to be in for an absolutely exciting game, considering that when you look at the makeup of the two sides, Paul Roos has got about four Craven Week players, whereas Bishops has got 3 Academy Week players. So those players are certainly going to bring back the experience that they had in the last week and on that tour, and we have to see it transfer into this game. And
as we saw, John Mostert kick off for Paul Roos, and then Bishops with a counter attack, kicking long, fielding the ball. There is what looks like Carlo Luyo with John Mostert being run back by Paul Roos. A little nudge into the corner there with a good chase there by Remy Engelbrecht, putting them under pressure, and again Bishops deciding to run from their own half.
I think that's a bit of excellent work there from the Bishops player. He was under pressure, got himself into a good position to evade the tackle and set up the ball so that his players could recover. And here we see them again, setting up the pods, working the ball up inches at a time.
A little dab ahead by Bishops, well fielded by Jars. Here's a nippy player, this is. Feeds his captain on the inside. Good tackle there by Bishops. Back to Jars. Matt du Plessis with a great tackle there, and a good carry up there by Philip van Dijk, a Cranwick player from Paul Roos. Another good strong carry there by Paul Roos, putting Bishops under a bit of pressure in the early stage of this match. Jars out the back to Mostert, making use of the width of the field. Just ball going in behind Paul Roos, and that ball's been knocked on. An exciting start to this match, Tariq.
Yeah, no, absolutely exciting, and it's fast-paced. You know, both sides are looking to certainly run the ball. You did mention, Andres, that Bishops don't kick the ball too much, although I've seen them fly off, kick the ball twice already. But, you know, maybe that's just because of Paul Roos's rush defense. He's trying to get the ball in behind them and get his side on the front foot. But, yeah, like you said, you know, exciting start to this game, and let's hope it continues throughout.
As we prepare for this first scrum of this match, it should be interesting to see Paul Roos as a strong tight five, good pack of forwards, big young boys, and I've seen Henry Jacobs play, and he's just amazing and immense in the scrum. And then as we look at Ross Goodwin feeding the ball into his first scrum, and Paul Roos putting him under pressure from the start. Labuskachny, Spencer carries up into the middle and tackled by Jars. Goodwin waiting for that ball to come out, back to Labuskachny. Sing out wide, and that looks like McDonald carrying it up in the middle. Flick back there to Remy Engelbrecht. Or is that Murray Bruce? I beg your pardon. Goodwin waiting again. Labuskachny carries. That's been turned over by Paul Roos, and now look to counter. Ball gets moved out. That's Ming Charink with a strong carry in the midfield. Great tackle there by Justin Miller. And Paul Roos opting to keep it close there by Cameron Dawson with a strong leg drive. Jaws waiting for that ball to come out. As we look at Matthew Cordy putting his hand up to carry, goes to the captain. Back to Cordy. Cordy coming down the line and want to beat. Passing into the corner, and a great try scored there by Regan van der Westhuizen, and Paul Roos on the scoreboard.
Absolutely perfect start from Paul Roos, carrying the ball strongly, taking it through its phases, and then just drawing the defense in before they, you know, work the ball out to the wing. Regan van der Westhuizen, and you know, you're not going to stop him from 2-3 meters out with that big frame.
Tariq, he's a big individual, this Regan van der Westhuizen, and he had only the try line to beat there, and he did a great job of that. But great carry there by Matthew Cordy, and good distribution by the captain Rufus Daxon, and rightly, you know, Paul Roos have come out in this game. They've put Bishops under a bit of pressure, forcing them to kick twice, which is something we don't often see from them, and they've been rewarded with 5 points earlier in this match. As we look at Collier Louis lining this kick up, I've seen him play once before, and he's an immense kicker of the rugby ball, and an outstanding young rugby player as well.
Yeah, it's certainly been one-way traffic in the opening 3 to 4 minutes. Paul Roos looking very much as though they're wanting to carry it, they're wanting to keep the ball alive and take it to this Bishop's back.
If we just look at the replay to this, Malcolm Jars, he's been exciting in the first couple of minutes. Daxon to Matthew Cordy with a strong carry. He's got one to draw and pass, does that excellently well, and puts Regan van der Westhuizen into the corner. Well worked try by Paul Roos to start off this match.
Louis' conversion attempt drifts slightly to the right hand side, but you know, it was a tricky one from close to the touch line. I'm sure he'll fix that and get the radar working if he gets another attempt.
And as we're going to look at the Bishops kick-off at the moment, and that's the interesting thing, Caleb Kenny, the hooker from Bishops, taking the kick-offs, and he's done a great job of that when he kicks it off. He's slightly overcooked there, and that's gone out on the full. And if we can just pull in Dean Stelling in here, what an interesting individual he is.
Khalid Kenny, very, very talented player. Through the years, played flower for us, number 8, fullback. And at under 16 they moved him to hooker. He's just come back from the Craven Week. He can kick, he can pass, he's a good cricketer as well, and a very versatile player. It was scrum down. Paul Roos ball.
It's not often that you see a hooker that actually kicks off. You know, this is bizarre, but I guess that's what happens at schoolboy rugby. You know, you get a player. You might be a prop, you might be a flank, but you'll see him kicking at goals at times. I mean, that's the beauty of schoolboy rugby. Any player can do anything.
And he's got the character of a hooker. I've had him in the class. He's a typical James Dalton type character, but a good guy. And I say that tongue in cheek.
Outstanding. The previous hooker Arsenal kicker ball was Uli Schmidt, and that was about 20 years ago. So he must be a special individual. If we looked at Paul Roos with a middle scrum there, Tariq with opting to go to the right side of the foul. A good offload there by young Brendan Fencer, son of the now Springbok coach Brendan Fencer, and exciting play also with a little chicken wing Alassane Ball-Williams, and another strong carry by Remy Engelbrecht, and a great turnover by Bishops.
Excellent work from Bishops there. They got in over the ball, got their hands on the ball first time, didn't go past it, and won the penalty there and set up the line out and an attacking opportunity for them.
Strong carry in the midfield there by Aiden Neal. Ball going out to Labuskaghni. Out the back to who is Brock McDonald, captain of the team, strong player. Ross Goodwin waiting for that ball to come out. He finds Matt Norton with a strong carry in the midfield. Great offload there by Matt Norton, and Caleb Kinney's got his hands on the ball, and he's a feisty one to get down. Goodwin waiting for the ball to come out again. Out the back to Labuskaghni, who sends the ball to James Ipsa, and he's in space. He's an exciting young player. This also lots of space to work with, trying to get the offload back into the inside. And that's another great offload there by Ronnebosch, and looks like Bishop's score. Rob McDonald, that is, or Bishop's coming over for the line there. Outstanding try, Tori.
Yeah, this was basically their first attack of the game. Winning the line out, securing it, spreading the ball out wide, and it's one cut-out pass to the outside, and the wing is gone. He's down the line, huge strides, long legs. Little bit of a so-called, call it a Hail Mary offload, but nevertheless, Bishop's players and supporting players were on hand, collected the ball. 2 passes later, Bob's your uncle. Try time, Bishops.
It's a great try, and we saw James Ipsa in space for the first time in this match, and he's someone that can really exploit space when he gets it. Long, lanky legs, moves down the field like a Peter Rousseau back in the day, and a great little speculative offload. The bounce of the ball going to Bishops, and Rob McDonald there to support like any good midfielder should, and that the kick goes over by James Ipsa, and Bishops leads this match 7-5 after just the first opening 10 minutes.
Yeah, what is key there to Ipsa's run was while he was carrying the ball, he had the ball in his right arm tucked under, so the left arm is free to fend off any would-be tackler. He did just that. He rode the tackle, offloaded onto the inside, and McDonald was the beneficiary at the end of the day.
Master starts that again, and a great take there by Bishops, expecting them to run this out of their own half. As we look at Tim Sharp was trying to carry up the middle there, who is Justin Miller. Up the middle, Goodwin waiting for that. Strong carry by Bishops right through the middle of that ruck. Goodwin, Labuskaghni, out the back there to Matt du Plessis. Strong carry. Great defense by Paul Roos. Goodwin, Matt Norton with an offload. Aiden Neal doing good work in the start of this match, and that's back to Rob McDonald, the try scorer and captain. Good defense again there by Paul Goodwin, going down the blind side, working it like a pop-up toaster. Paul was making it difficult for them to recycle that ball, and balls back out to Labuskaghni. He's using the width of the field. Another carry up the midfield by Bishops, and a strong clean out, but not quick enough as we look at Philip van Dijk, Cranwick player from Paul Roos, forcing that turnover.
Excellent work from Philip there. Getting into the ball, getting onto it early, forcing the turnover. Paul Roos opting to have a shot at goal.
Exciting attack there by Bishops in the early part of this match. They've not been taught to kick in rugby matches, which I love. It creates this awareness within the side and the team to run good angles, to look for space, to run into that space, and they have this ability to keep hold of the ball in hand. As we look at Carlo Louis trying to make this a 1-point lead for Paul Roos. Carlo Louis played a lot of his rugby in the UK during the start of his school career, and in what is the home of South African rugby at the moment, looking to get 3 points for his side.
Strikes it well enough. Unfortunately, this time he misses it out to the left, so he certainly adjusted the radar, adjusted a little bit too much. I guess let's hope he gets a third crack at it, and third time's a charm.
He'll be disappointed with that, Tariq. He's a great kicker of the rugby balls. We look at Khalid Kenny again with a dropout from the 20-meter line, and I'm just amazed at what this guy can do. And another good kickoff, fielded there by Yards. Looking there for Carlo Louis with a strong carry in the midfield. Yards waiting for that ball to come out. Ming Sharink with another strong carry in the midfield. As we look at Gerardo Yards waiting for that ball, and Bishop's doing well to hold that ball up off the ground. As we look at Cameron Dawson with another carried around the ruck. Slightly messy by Paul Roos as Giles plays it out to Mustard. He uses it to Brendan Fenter again, who's got a drawing pass, and a strong carry up the right hand touchline there by Brendan Fenter, and good defence by Bishops to keep him out. And it's George Spencer with a great tackle as Giles plays out again to number 7 was Philip van Dijk, the Cranenbeek loose trio. Another strong carry there by Cameron Dawson for Paul Roos as they move up the middle of the field here, and Giles gets his hands on the ball again. Ming Sharink with another carry and tries to get the offload and decides to keep that as Bishop's going to try and turn that ball over, and Giles has got his hands on the ball again. Pass just going to ground as we look at Remy Engelbrecht with a step in the inside there. Bishops will have to know their thing now about the defence, and another strong tackle there by the Henry Jacobs, a strong carrier of the rugby ball, and Khalib with another good tackle, and a great tackle there by Bishops turning that ball over, but unfortunately penalty to Paul Roos. Great passage of play there.
Yeah, absolutely. Paul Roos showing that they intent on carrying the ball, they intent on keeping possession, and they're looking to run with it as many times as they can. And it's been hard work for Bishops on defence. They've been pushed back. Paul Roos gained over the advantage line with almost every carry. So let's hope that Bishops continues to defend the way that they are doing. I mean, they've been holding out for so long. So
Paul Roos opting for the 5-metre line out and taking on this Bishops pack with their strong pack of forwards, and a great take by Ming Sharink as they set their drive quite nicely, and a breakout there by Henry Jacobs, and pick and go there by Paul Roos. They're getting close to the try line, and referee blows his whistle, just having a chat to the touchdowns, and held up, no try, 5-metre scrum.
Excellent defence there from Bishops. Obviously we mentioned that the Paul Roos Tide 5 are a pack of monsters, to put it that way, at schoolboy level, and Bishops doing well to get themselves between the ball and the try line, forcing the Paul Roos boys to not get over. Bishops holding the ball up. It's still an attacking opportunity for Paul Roos though.
Yes, and they'll back this massive scrum of theirs, Tariq, to get the over, and their great pack of forwards, and they get the drive on in the scrum. Mustard cuts back inside to his captain, Rufus Daxon, with a strong carry up the midfield again, and Ming Sharink with his hands on the ball again, and him and Brayton Maritz has just been immense in the opening minutes of this match, and the forwards looking to keep this tight, and Bishops having to know what they do on the fence here. Advantage to Paul Roos, and a strong carry through the midfield there by none other than the hooker JJ Kotsu, who's outstanding rugby playing, getting over for a 5-pointer.
Great awareness from Kotsu there. Bishop's defence seemed to be wanting to watch the blind side and the pass that's coming. Although Kotsu had other ideas, he just picked it up, went straight over the ruck, and well, from a metre out, I'm sure you're not going to stop a hooker.
No, so we could just pull in Mr. Sudding. Sorry for calling on your name earlier. Bishop's under a cuff a little here, and what can they do to come out of this?
I think what Bishops have always got to do is stick to their own game plan. As we all know, throughout the country, Bishops has got its own style of play. We mustn't adapt to the way the opposition are playing, and that's always been the recipe for success over the years, where Bishops have had games in the bag, and then last minute try and run it from their own line and give a victory away. But that's once again the philosophy of the school, is to play the game for the style of the game, the way we play the game with flair, and the result is obviously important, but it's not the end of the world if they don't win. And it looks like it's a very good conversion, but it's gone to the left of the posts.
Collier Louis is certainly striking the ball well with the kicking tee. I think his direction, that's the only issue he has right now, but I'm sure he'll figure that out as the game progresses.
It's probably a bit of a crosswind at this point in time. That's playing a role there. It looks like Khalib Kenny to kick off again.
Yeah, I still can't get over the fact that the hooker is busy kicking off. I mean, that to me. And look at these kickoffs. It's high hanging kicks. It's allowing his players the time to get themselves up, to contest the ball. Unfortunately, on this occasion, the Bishops players weren't there to contest. But Paul Roos has it outside of their 22, and we'll be looking to Jairus with a kick foul.
Kick over the top. Underneath the ball is Felix Burt, the vice-captain, to Aiden Labaskachny, who's taken the opposition on. He's gone to ground. At the breakdown, JJ Miller, as usual, a workhorse. Bishop still. Ross Goodwin, the normal wing, has got the ball to Matt Norton, to David Curry, one of the Craven Week players. Khalib first to the breakdown, as usual. Paul Roos defending well. Ross Goodwin digging the ball out. And it looks like it's a penalty to Bishops with Paul Roos, and Ross Goodwin picks up and takes it quickly. This guy's an amazing athlete, normally a wing, but he's been moved to scrum half because of William Rose's injury, the cousin of Earl Rose.
Well, there we see Bishops' intent not to kick the ball. Getting awarded a penalty, taking it quickly. And now they're back on the attack inside Paul Roos's 22.
Ross moves it out to Labaskachny, and another strong tackle there by Paul Roos as we wait for Ross to get his hands on the ball to Matt Norton. He's been everywhere today and always is that red scrum cap of his, and a great tackle there by Paul Roos. What looks to be turn of a ball. No, and the referee's got his hand on, and that's penalty to Bishop, and that's been an exciting phase of play for Bishop, playing the rugby that we've come to know them do. They keep the ball in hand, they put the defence under pressure by running good lines and keeping the ball alive. And they've been rewarded with a penalty right in front of the sticks.
Seems as though they're opting to have a shot at goal, but just a reward for them. I think Paul Roos is. They've got to watch the disciplines a little bit inside their 22. That's the second penalty they've been given away now for not rolling away at the tackle. So.
As we look at James Ipsa lining up another kicker who's been successful on his first, and this one slightly easier, and the lanky fella lining up trying to get the scores even after 20 minutes in this match.
Seems like a routine kick for him, just takes his time, pops it over, scores a level after 18 minutes.
That's amazing. Paul Roos has been in this part of the field most part of this game, and Bishops have managed to hold on to this, and they've even upped this game 10 all after 18 minutes and waiting for the ball to come their way again. And let's hope we can see them running out of this. Good kick off there by Mustard. Plays it back to Ross. Here's Ipsa. Labaskachny with a run, and ball gets pulled as we look at Cameron or Matthew Cordy with a great strong run up the middle, and he keeps going. Now Gerardo Jar's trying to get his hands on the ball. Referee goes back for no advantage for a scrum in the middle of the field, and an ideal attacking opportunity now for Paul Roos.
The perfect attacking platform. You got a scrum relatively close to the try line, a little bit off center, but attacking options either side. Jars can now basically just dictate exactly which side they want to go.
And with the pack of forward that Paul Roos does have, they can probably decide which way to swing that scrum. Henry Jacobs, outstanding scrummager, and Cameron Dawson is no slouch, and they've got a great hooker in JJ Kotza. Interesting to see that they've got only two players on the right-hand side here with two defenders from Bishop, which seems like a great opportunity to attack this. But it looks like Jars coming to the right-hand side. Galio Lou with a switch back to the inside to the big right try scorer Regan van der Westhuizen, and a great tackle by Bishops. Jars to Dawson with a strong carry up the middle. Jars again waiting for the ball to come out. He gives it to his number 6 flanker Johan Bauer, and Paul Roos taking small yards, and a great carry there again by Philip van Dijk, the Cranwick player, and good defence by Bishops. We look at JJ Kotzo with a Henry Jacobs with a try. Yes, indeed, Henry Jacobs, a big, massive tighter prop from Paul Roos. Outstanding scrummager, and no slouch with the ball in hand either.
That all came from that scrum. It was a perfect ball for Jars. They went the blindside option, but that allowed them then to set up the next phase, send the ball through, and at the end of it, Henry Jacobs again, another forward close to the line, picking the ball up, and there's absolutely no way you're going to stop them from that close. Solid
frame on him, Henry Jacobs, and shown that he can handle the ball as well. As we look at Carlo Louis lining up his kick again, and no, it looks like the kicking duty's been given over to the fly half John Mustard. And let's see if he can pop this over to give him a 7-point lead. Great carry there by Philip van Dijk. He's been all over, and Jars just a little short pass to Henry Jacobs as we look at Mustard pop that over.
Paul Roos have really enjoyed the possession and the territory advantage thus far after 21 minutes. And, for them to have the 17-10 lead, it's certainly reward for their attacking impetus.
Yes, as we look at Caleb Kenya, another good kick-off. Great take by Mung Sharink. He's been great in this match, and a strong carry again by him. Jars out to the blind side as we look at the captain Rufus Daxon with a strong carry down the right-hand touchline. Good tackle by Matt Norton and putting them under pressure, and a great tackle again there by, it looks like, Matt du Plessis has been immense. Just forcing into the touch and line out to Bishops on the 10-metre line of Paul Roos.
Now he got himself into a very strong position there when he tackled Yards. Got up underneath him and obviously showed his strength by picking him up and literally carrying him over the touchline.
Two wingers for Bishops look like two strong individuals. Both Matt du Plessis and Murray Bruce are two very powerful players. As we look at Caleb Kenny to Dawson, talking about him, Murray Bruce with a strong carry into the Paul Roos defence there. As we look at Goodwin just having a look at the blind side and deciding to play it out the back. Sharples with a strong carry and good defence by Paul Roos, and they've got a nice line set at the moment. Goodwin, Labuskachny out the back. Ipsa with his ball in hand, back to McDonald, a good tackle by Paul Roos and good clean out by Bishops. Goodwin, back to Sharples with a strong carry. Is that Doyle? Ross Doyle, the loose head prop with a strong carry and good defence there by Paul Roos. Looks to have turned this ball over, and Jars getting his hand back to Ross Labuskachny. That is Spencer, George Spencer with good work in the midfield there. Labuskachny waiting to get his hands on the ball now. Goodwin, the great sniper on the touch, and he's got pace, and he's over for the second try for Bishop. An outstanding player, used to be a winger and showed us that pace. Exploited the breakdown, and 5 points for Bishops.
That's a typical scrum half try, that one, getting to the breakdown early, spots a half gap, snipes around the fringe, and well, he's got pace to burn. He showed why he was a wing all the time.
Yes, he looks like a really good young player, Ross Goodwin does, and missed the setting again. He just looked to be a class individual.
This position of his is actually, it was basically because of William Rose, who got injured during the season, and because not many opposition know that Ross is such an explosive player. They know him as a wing, but I think they underestimate him at scrum off. And obviously from a bias point of view, against Weinberg earlier in the year, in the last seconds of the game, Bishop's losing, and Ross Goodwin from his own 22, a good break by Felix Bird, led to Ross under the poles. So he's got that ability because of his low centre of gravity. He's a very good athlete, and so far a brilliant game. Well done Bishop so far, and well done Paul Roos, who are playing fantastic rugby.
Now Ipsa unable to convert that try. Was probably the trickiest kick that he's had thus far, but Bishop's trailing 15-17, 25 minutes gone.
So look at Spencer again with a strong carry, and Bishop trying to run this ball back from their own try line. Let's look at David Cordy with a good take and carry up the midfield. Curry, good carry by Curry, and Matt Norton always there as he is. We look at Labuskachny trying to find the touch with a good kick to the right hand touch, and some relief for Bishops early or late in this first half. Outstanding trial by them earlier, and unfortunately Ipsa couldn't equal their scores. But it looks like Paul Roos have been playing all the rugby, but somehow Bishops are still in us.
Yeah, I think that is part of the ethos that Mr. Sudding was speaking about, is that you're never giving up. Regardless of what is happening in the game, you keep going, you keep plugging away, and Bishops have been rewarded.
Look at Jars, strong carry by Daxon. Quick ball for Paul Roos as Jars trying to feed it back to the forwards, and a strong carry there by Matthew Cordier. It looks like it is Mustard. He's got Brendan Fenter on the outside, decides to go himself. A good step on the inside there, and good clean out by Paul Roos. Jars back to Dawson with a strong carry and good defence once again by Bishops. Caleb Kenya again with a good tackle. Jars. Mung Sharink again with ball in hand, trying to get that offload away with Collier. Louis there in support, and a turnover almost there, but Dawson again with a strong carry around the rucks. Jars to the left, Dirksen, quick hands by Remy. Great hands there by the Polroos, and getting tackled just short by McDonald, and a good leg drive by Remy Engelbrecht, and great defence there by Bishop to keep the Polroos boys out.
Yeah, once again we see it, Polroos doing most of the attacking, just having a look back at the Bishop's try, and there's the snipe, there's the break, and anytime you get to outsprint to backline players, you've got some wheels on you.
Dean Sunning just saying he's got the Raymore built, and certainly does look like a strong athletic built young player, and just showing the ball there, and unfortunately Brayton Maritz following the dummy and getting caught out there. So we look at Bishop's trying to relieve some pressure here, and Polroos turn that ball over again, and again on the attack here. Ball going to ground, and Brendan Fenton not getting in. Collier Louis with his hands on the ball at the moment. To the try scorer, Rian van der Westhuizen with a strong carry again up the right hand touch here, and Philip van Dijk not getting hold of that ball, and another turnover, and a slightly sloppy phase of play by both teams here, and Bishop will find themselves lucky to get their hands on the ball again.
Well, the first time in 27 minutes that we've seen a bit of sloppiness in the sides. Up until then, the discipline has been impeccable. The passes have been crisp. The basics of the game that we've seen between these two sides has been absolutely phenomenal.
It's been phenomenal, and the conditions allowed. It's nice, dry day, sun's out, hardly any wind out there today, and the conditions really allow us to see some good rugby out here today. And again, Paul Roos would want to put this Bishop scrum under a little bit of pressure late in the second half, trying to score some points in what lots of people say is the most important part of a rugby match, is the last 5 or 10 minutes before half-time and the first 5 or 10 after half-time. As we saw Bishops almost equal the score there, Paul Roos would want to answer them just before the break here.
And as you mentioned, it's definitely a crucial time in the game, because we know what any sort of points, and even if it's try or penalty, it's a little bit of points just before half time, and the mindset of the side then changes. They come out in the second half and they just seem rejuvenated. Yeah,
and the momentum shifts. You've got, if you're under a bit of pressure during the game, you manage to score some points just before half time. You're going to the shed with a bit of momentum. You come out of the shed after half time with a wind in your sails and ready to play some rugby. If you've got a little break here, just taking care of Ming Sha Rink, who seems to have been leaving the field. Yeah, he's been outstanding in this first half. Probably the best ball carrier for Paul Roos up until getting injured, and it's a shame to see him getting carried off the field.
Sure, what you would have noticed is that the clock still runs, because at schoolboy level, when there's an injury, the clock doesn't stop. So it's taken a bit of time to get Meng Sharang sorted out and get him, hobbling off the field. Let's hope that it's nothing too serious and that he returns to the field very soon.
As we look at Ross Goodwin again, waiting for his forwards to set the scrum, and Ross Doyle, David Curie and Khalid Kenny with their hands full in this Paul Roos pack of forwards, just being immense. Looks like the uncontested scrum at the moment as the ball goes out to Labuskachny, finds Ipsa with some space, and Ipsa is danger of the ball in hand and just couldn't get the pass out to Murray Bruce, and that's unfortunate. A little bit of space there for Bishops. And Paul Roos take this quickly, and we look at Brayton Maritz with a good carry up the midfield. Good defence by Bishops, and Jars out to his captain Mustard now again with a step inside, and good tackle there by Felix Bird and JJ Miller. As we look at Dirksen, the captain, trying to pick and go through the middle of the ruck there. Out again to JJ Kutzer with another strong run. I know that's Cameron Dawson with the ball in hand, and he's been immense also. As we look at Jars out, Paul Roos trying to exploit the space from the outside there with JJ Kutzer, and the ball being turned over with Rob McDonald getting hand on the ball, knock on both ends, and another injury on the side of the field, and something we don't like to see at schoolboy rugby.
Yeah, unfortunately, it was a bit of a head knock in that previous ruck there. As the player went in for the tackle, he collided with, I think it was his teammate's shoulder or something, and took a bit of knock on the jaw, and it seems as though there's either some blood flowing or it could be potential concussion.
It's JJ Miller, it seems to be. Now, there's JJ Miller, his collision rate each game is unbelievable. 3 years ago, he'd never played a game of rugby, and last year he went to the Grand Coma week, and this year to Craven week. Purely work rate. His knowledge of the game is not great, but for 70 minutes he gives everything. But this is unbelievable the way Paul Roos are playing as well, and certainly that Brendan Finter's son looks like he's got a little bit of the old man's genes is stepping in the distribution and character, I take it. Also a doc one day.
As you've noticed, it's a 7-on-7 scrum.
We talk about Brendan Finter. He's got his hand on the ball with a little kick through for Regan van der Westhuizen to chase, and unfortunately the touchline wins that race, and a line out for Bishop on their own 5-meter line.
Bishop's line-out has been working well thus far. Khalib Kenny has been finding his jumpers, and they've been able to keep their hands on the ball and get themselves out of danger.
Khalib Kenny with another throw into the line-out. A lot of pressure on this throw, and a great ball out to Matt Norton. Goodwin. Strong carry there by Tim Sharp, or Felix Bird, a strong tackle by Paul Roos. Trying to recycle the ball. Goodwin. Now Tim Sharp with this carry up the midfield. Recycle the ball to Goodwin, who finds Labuskaghni and decides to look up the touchline, and a great kick there by fly Aiden Labuskaghni, and another quick throw in by Paul Roos as we look at Carlo Lou. The counter attack decides to come back this way with another kick in behind with Bishops, and the touchline wins this one again. And it looks like Paul Roos have decided to just keep the ball on this side of the field and put pressure on Bishops. Yeah,
I'm sure the Paul Roos players have identified that each time they get close to the Bishops 22, they end up scoring. So what better way than to keep the ball there, keep Bishops pinned in there, inside their 22, force them to either run the ball out or, as we've seen Labuskaghni do, kick it away.
Norton seems to be the preferred line-out option as you look at Labuskaghni. Spencer, strong carry there by Felix Burt up the midfield, tackled by Mustard, and a turnover ball once again with Paul Roos. We look at Daz starting the counter-attack here for Paul Roos. Jars looking up, finds his flanker Van Dijk with another strong carry. He's been outstanding today. Louis at the scrum of position and just getting tackled, the ball in hand, and very well done there by his fluff Mustard, Felix Burt. Strong carry there by number 19, Reino Niemand on the field. And off the side, and a quick tap there by Tim Sharples, looking to expose the Paul Roos defence. Doing outstandingly well to get in behind them. Dawson waiting for the ball to go. Goodwin waiting for the ball to come out, and Paul Roos going off their feet, and well thought and well reacted there by Tim Sharples.
No, that's excellent vision from the young man. He spotted that the Paul Roos defense wasn't properly aligned, took it quickly, and ensured that he got himself and his side onto the front foot.
As we look at Caleb Kenny taking the kick to touch there, and now he's going to get his hands on the ball once again to put it into the line-out, and what is sure to go to Matt Norton, who seemed to be their preferred option in the line-out. The red scrum cat, he's also been everywhere on the field today. As we just see, Justin Miller's been replaced by David Nivison. And let's hope Justin isn't injured too badly. Look at Kenny. Opting for the short line out. Matt Norton was the preferred option, but great turnover by Paul Roos as Jars finds a touch with a good kick up the right-hand touch.
I think that's the first time that Paul Roos actually contested the line out, and they ended up winning it. I think they've figured out the Bishop strategy every time because they know exactly who it's going to go to.
Yes, and as you just look, that ball being carried back into the 22, kicked out directly, and now Caleb Kenny with another opportunity to find his line-out jumpers. They've gone for a 6-man line-out, or a 4-man line-out here. Setting up the drive with Matt Norton with his hands on the ball at the moment, and the ball just popping out there. Caleb Kenny with a strong carry. He's an exciting young player. Goodwin. Another little sniper on the ruck, and all looked after by Paul Roos this time as we look at Sharples with a strong carry. Or was that Aidan Neal with a strong carry, and we've got Kenny with his hands on the ball again. Goodwin good one out to Labuskachny. He switches inside to Spencer, and the ball's been knocked down. But Paul Roos, high tackle by Paul Roos on one of the Bishop's boys, right in front of the sticks here, and something that you would imagine James Ipsa could pop over in his sleep.
Yeah, he started a penalty from there early on in the game, so you think that with time up in the first half that he'll pop it over, hand Bishops an unlikely lead heading into the halftime, considering that Paul Roos has dominated possession and territory.
Paul Roos have, like we said earlier, played all the rugby in this first half, and somehow Bishops have managed to keep themselves in this game purely because they've exploited the one or two opportunities they did have. They've turned those into points, and what we're going to see is, if James Ipsa pops us over, you're going to see Bishops go into this break 18-17 ahead. And as I say that, he pushed it to the left, and I probably put the commentator's curse on him. And as we go into half-time with Bishops trailing 17-15, and probably feel like they should have led this game.
Absolutely, I think that Bishops would feel a bit demoralized at this point, and I don't mean that word in the negative sense. I mean, simply because they would feel that they wanted more reward for what they were doing. They hung on for long periods. They were forced to tackle, forced to play most of the half on the back foot. And they had an opportunity to take the lead. I mean, Ipsa's left, I think, 5 points out there with a missed conversion as well thrown in. So it certainly would have felt that Bishops could have had the lead at this halftime.
Dino, a funny end to this first half, but also Bishops, as Tariq has said, they've been forced to make a lot of tackles. They only find themselves 2 points behind at halftime. What can they take from this?
Yeah, I think what they've got to take from this is, first of all, look at the scoreboard. The scoreboard says it all. It doesn't matter how many tackles you've made, doesn't matter how many times you've had the ball, it's how much you've converted possession into points. Both sides, I think, so far, Roos have played fantastic rugby. Paul Roos at the best today. Bishops playing, I think, a little bit above themselves. They've come a long way. The last time they played against Rondebosch, it was the week of the tragedy. So these young men went onto the field that day. They didn't know where they were coming or going. They've had a tough holiday, and they've come back. And I think the way they're playing today, they're playing as if they just want to enjoy the game. Throwing the ball around, lived off scraps, good defence. Paul Roos have made some unforced errors, but I think both sides have. But I think as an advert for schoolboy rugby, it's been fantastic.
Absolutely, in full agreement. Both sides, they love just playing the game. You can see it. They're carrying the ball strongly. The ball is being thrown around. Everybody's getting a chance to attack. And I think you mentioned that the last time they played Bishops, last time Bishops played Rondebosch, it was when the incident happened. So mentally they maybe would not have been there. And I think the fact that now that Richard Smith is recovering well and is well on the road to getting better and to becoming his normal self, I think that's probably what's in the minds of the Bishops players as well, is that they know that their coach is doing well, so they can come out here, they can express themselves, and they can make him proud while he's sitting and watching this game.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a long journey for all of us. I think in South Africa today we live with the violence, and I'm going to combine this with rugby, because rugby is life. And for the last 6 weeks, we've travelled a road, and these young men have travelled that road with us, and a lot of it they've had to do from afar, not being able to visit. So I think the way they're going to do this now is by expressing themselves and by the game that they love and the game that Richard loves. And just as far as the leadership goes, it's been a tough year. Our very first game, and I'm sorry if I'm just speaking on behalf of Bishops, but obviously I don't know the Paul Roos side. Lost the captain, the prop went, Ben Null went, the scrum off Willie Rose. So it's been that as well. But anyway, look, all teams have got to live with that. But the most important thing what we've seen today is a fantastic advert versus the Super 15 bash, which hopefully the Lions don't do this afternoon.
Like you said, it's just fantastic to see players on the field expressing themselves and playing rugby. What I love about this Rondebosch or this Bishop side is the fact that they're comfortable with ball in hand. They know what to do with it when they have it. Because they actually get forced to play rugby from a young age. And Paul Roos themselves have done really, really well in this match. They've turned over some ball, which was unfortunate, but the opportunities they had to score points, they've done that well. And we can look forward to a strong second half.
Well, let's hope so. And the distribution, Andries, I remember your distribution in the midfield for the Sharks. Unbelievable.
Now I know you're lying because I never passed.
Okay. Tariq, so are you a Paul Roos or a Bishop's man?
No, I'm completely neutral. Didn't attend either one of these schools, so to me, I'm just enjoying the rugby. So, starting,
Yeah.
I mean, in terms of Bishops, that team talk that they would have at halftime, what do you think the message would be? Considering that they've been on the back foot, yet they only find themselves 2 points behind.
Well, I think what the message will be, we've got two very calm coaches out there. We've got Wes Chetty who takes the forwards, and we've got Gareth Hayden who takes the backs. Both young men, both calm, and once again, it'll be stick to the game plan. Don't change. Just keep going. I think if it wasn't for that kick, let's not put all the pressure on old James Ipsa. And early on, Andries referred to him as Peter Stein. Exactly. Old Slop Chips, he's exactly the same. But yeah, let's have a look now. So second half is the big one. As we all know, Nas Botha always used to say that the Curry Cup is not won in May. A rugby game is not won in the first half.
Perfect, as we wait for the two teams to come back onto the field, and we've seen an exciting first half, and we can look to see more of that in the second half, and only 2 points separating the teams at this stage, and Bishops would feel like they're right in this thing. They've had to do a lot of defending, as we've said earlier. They've done that well. The couple of opportunities they had to score points have done that well, so that came into their second half with a lot of confidence, thinking that they can get one over Paul Roos if they can keep the set phases to a minimum, keep hold of the ball, and keep putting their Paul Roos players under pressure. They might cause a little upset.
Yeah, I think so. I think a little upset is on the cards, and what Bishops has done well in that first half, they were making that first time tackles. Every time Paul Roos came at them, the defender was there. He stuck his tackle, forcing the next phase to be set up, which actually gave Bishops a chance to contest the ball, in the rucks, and that's what they've done well. They've turned the ball over a few times. Yes, there's been handling errors, but when you're throwing the ball around, there's always going to be handling errors. Well, what has been fantastic is to see the Bishop spirit. Those boys that have not given up in this first half, and I'm sure we'll see the same thing in the second.
Definitely to look at the Paul Roos boys coming back onto the field. What seems like a slight bruise on their backs at this stage, as we look at Khalib Kenya again trying to start the second half, and let's hope this is another cracker. Look at Kenny, another good kick-off as we wait for Brayton Maritz trying to get his hands on the ball, and that's taken outstandingly well. His supporter Cameron Dawson just letting him down a little, with Jars feeding the ball there to the big tight head prop, and Henry Yarkos with another strong carry. Yards with a box kick and chase there by the try scorer Regan van der Westhuizen. Great tackle there by Labuskachny in the air, and now with Bishop's ball in hand, we look at Goodwin, Doyle opting to go back to his pack of forwards with a strong carry, and Paul Roos up for the challenge to defend. Goodwin out to Felix Bird, vice captain and 8th man. Goodwin, sharp balls back to Spencer. Spencer with a step inside and looking to get the offload away. And if we look at Rufus Daxon with a good tackle, opting to go to the left there. Labuskachny, Khalib Kenya again with a good tackle there by JJ Kotso of Paul Roos, forcing him back a little. Goodwin again with his hands on the ball there. Kuri with a strong carry and a good tackle by Paul Roos.
I reckon Khalib Kenya has been watching Skalk Brits play, because every time he gets the ball, he's got a little jink and he wants to step around the defence.
As we'll look at Ipsa again finding space. He's got one to beat with a great tackle there by the 8th man Matthew Cordy on James Ipsa, and he looks like an exciting young player as Bishop tries to keep their hands on the ball here. Goodwin just digging in there to find it. Norton again with the offload there to his Aidan Neal, looks like it is. Sharples again with a carry. He's been immense in this match as we look at Goodwin trying to get the ball out of his rack again. Goodwin digging for it, coming down the blind side. Looks at Aidan Labuskachny trying to get one in on the other guys, and another good carry there by Dawson, but he's Goodwin, he's tackled well as we look at Norton. Matt Norton just sniping down the ruck there. Sharples again in support. And Ronald Bush boys are just trying to Bishop's just trying to keep their hands on the ball here as we look at Laviskachny with a drop kick. Just sailing past the right hand upright, but they've got advantage and great passage of play there by the Bishop's boys.
Yeah, absolutely. Bishop's coming out, showing the intent to carry the ball, showing that they are here to play and that they want to get one over on Paul Roos on their home ground. And we've seen that there are some strong carries. They've been working hard at ruck time. The clean out has been there. Paul Roos now on the back foot. It's probably the first time we've seen it in this game thus far. And an opportunity for us to see Caleb Kenny have a pop at goal.
And I'd be surprised if he missed this because he can do anything, Caleb Kenny. And it's probably worth a mention that Justin Miller is back on the field and he's recovered from what seems to have been a head knock and a little bit of blood, and it's great to have him back on the field. Kenny lining up this kick, which is just to the right of the uprights, right in front of the poles, and he has put a good strike on that. And as you'd expect, Caleb Kenny adds the 3 points, and Bishop takes the lead in this match for the first time since kickoff. And what is potentially a little upset here today.
Yeah, I think here we go. Bishop's coming out strongly, and the hooker of all players, taking the penalty. He actually shows excellent technique in that kick. Keeping the head down, following through, making sure he makes proper contact.
And that ball being kicked into the dead ball area by Paul Roos is a fly of John Mustard and dotted down by James Ipsa. And again, Caleb Kenny with his hands on the ball, trying to get this 22 kickoff. Long kick by Kenny, fielded by Mustard. He's going to have a go. Mustard with a carry in the midfield. Great tackle again there by Matt Norton. He's over everywhere that Reds Crampad yards, and a strong carry by Henry Yarkos with the offload. Captain Dyson, he's got Brendan Fent on the outside. He's showed a bit of toe and feeds it back into Daxon. His captain back outside to Brendan Fenter, looking for the cut back in a chicken wing to keep the ball inside with his try scorer Rain van der Vestes, and again with a strong carry, and he keeps on going. Jars trying to get his hands on the ball. Jacobs again with a strong carry, gets the offload away to Collier Lure. It looks like he's just getting stuck in between the pack of forwards. Jars out the back to Mustard. Just couldn't get that offload away, and clean up there by Brayton Maritz. Good clean out. Great tackle there by the captain for Bishops, Robert McDonald. And penalty advantage to Paul Roos, and pressure on Bishops right from that kickoff.
Absolutely. The Bishops defense seeming to lose their way a little bit, drifting offside. But there we see again excellent work at the breakdown. Caleb Kenny getting himself over the ball and winning back position for Bishops.
Boris opting for the short kick there, and Caleb Kenny again showing what class he has, turning that ball over, and James Ipsa with the opportunity to release some pressure here. And that's an excellent kick to the right-hand touch. Outstanding touch final there by James Ipsa. And then the Bishop's boy can sigh a breath of relief, and Caleb Kenny trying to get his hands on the ball to start off this lineup.
It's always dangerous when you score the early points in the match. That 2 minutes immediately after that is when you need to be focused fully, because that's the time you end up conceding most often than not. But credit to Bishops there for the defense. There was a little bit of an error in the play before, but immediately they bounce back.
Kenny to the back of the line, and fine sharp was Norton. As we look at Felix Burt with a strong carry up the middle, and Aidan Neal, I beg your pardon, tackled by Matthew Corey from Paul Roos. Goodwin, McDonald, George Spencer with a kick down the middle and try and find some space here. And this is good kick there by Spencer, and Remy Engelbrecht trying to put his footwork on George Spencer and kicks it out the back. And we've got Laviskachny with his hands on the ball now. He finds Goodwin in the middle of the field. Ipsa again with his hands on the ball, and beats the first couple of defenders. This guy, he's been amazing in this match, and he just drives up the middle of the field. Goodwin again with his hands on the ball.
A little bit of space for Ipsa, and he exploits whatever gap he can find.
Neil with a good offload there to Felix Burt. Ross Doyle with a strong carry and good clean out by Sharples. Goodwin again trying to get his hands on the ball. Goodwin, Laviskachny, Kenny again with a strong carry, and he takes care of the captain, and Matthew Cordy. He's been immense in this match. Goodwin came to the right, and a great little kick there by Captain Labuskachny. Spencer with a good pickup. Ball turned over. Jars out to Carlo Louis. And now there's space, and he opts to find the space in the middle of the field. And a strong chase by Paul Roos as we look Ipsa looking for the counter attack. Speculative offload there for him. Labuskachny under pressure now, and Paul Roos with great defence on the Bishop's boys. And ball turned over, penalty to Paul Roos.
I think Paul Roos a bit too anxious there at that breakdown, seemingly thinking, we've got two players there, we have Bishops under pressure. Unfortunately, the tackler not releasing his opposition player.
Ipsa couldn't find touch as Jars feeds the ball into Mostert. He's got players with him. Mostert opts for the long kick down the right-hand touchline and finds plenty of space with great vision shown there by Mostert, and a strong chase by the try scorer Regan van der Westhuizen. Picked up there by Murray Bruce. Jars again with his hands on the ball. He finds Mostert. Mostert carrying up the midfield, beats the first couple of defenders. Great offload there to Remy Engelbrecht. Kotze with his hands on the ball. Offload again to Louis with a strong carry, and Jars again finds Van Dijk. Struggles off the first two. Good defence by Bishops. Again Jars. Breitenbach. Breitenbach with a strong carry over the middle. Caleb Kenny trying to turn that ball over again. Jars. He finds Brendan Fenter. Good hands down the right hand side, and Regan van der Westhuizen scoring another try, falling over. And Paul Roos with great retention of the ball, getting rewarded with a try in the right hand corner.
Just shows you what happens when you're patient on the deck. Easily, one of the Paul Roos players could have just taken it up himself, get himself isolated and perhaps turn the ball over. However, they opted to keep the ball alive, keep everybody involved in it. Forced the Bishop's defense to come inside, to drift inside a little bit, creating the space on the outside. And we see Regan van der Westhuizen just diving over in the corner.
And that all comes from a penalty that was not kicked out by Bishops, and Paul Roos doing well to keep the ball in hand and scoring that try. And we've seen the boys just move the ball to both sides of the field and stretching the Bishops' defence, and ultimately good hands down the right hand side where a couple of players, Brendan Fenter being one of them, and the 8th man Matthew Cordy showing some great steel, putting Regan van der Westhuizen away for his second try. As we look at Collier Louis looking to have taken over the kicking duties again. One wonders if they shouldn't try giving the ball to JJ Kotze, try to emulate Caleb Kenny's kicking abilities.
Who knows, Kotze might just pop it over and become the regular kicker.
As we just look at good hands there again, Brendan Fenter drawing one, Matthew Cordy taking care of the last guy, and Regan van der Westhuizen falling over for a 5-pointer. Collier Lou with another good strike of the ball and just pushing that to the right hand side of the upright. And the score is 22-18 to Paul Roos, and they'll breathe a sigh of relief, being under a lot of pressure in the latter part of the first half and the start of the second half. And again, Paul Roos leading by 4 points with 15 minutes to go.
Yeah, we gotta give the Paul Roos players some credit there for that try. They showed patience and they showed confidence, to draw a defender and to offload it, to a teammate who's in a better position.
Great take there by Bishops. Matt du Plessis again with his hands on the ball. Goodwin just couldn't keep his hands on the ball. There is it, Justin Miller. Aidan Neal just forcing that turnover, and Paul Roos scrum.
Yeah, I reckon the opening 11 minutes certainly belong to Bishops. They've come out with intent. They've come out and showed Paul Roos that, we are here, we're going to take the game to you. Ended up having that 18-17 lead. And Paul Roos soaked up that pressure, had a few attacking opportunities and put one away to regain the lead.
As we look at the old boys getting involved in this match, and the ball coming out to the captain, Rufus Daxon. Strong carry up the middle, Jars ordering his forwards around. Cameron Dawson, good tackle there by Aidan Neal again, who's been everywhere today. Jars hands on the ball again, out the back to Mustard. Tries to find some space. James Epser again looking for the counter attack, and he puts it up high. And a great chase by James Epser. Mustard doing well to take care of that, and great step by Mustard straight up the middle of the field, beating the first couple of defenders. A little kick in behind, and the touchline again wins that race, but Mustard showing some great skill and then awareness to beat the first couple of defenders and get the ball back in behind the Bishops boys.
Skill, awareness, patience, and a calm head. When that ball was coming down, he had 3 Bishops players converging on him, and showed the presence of mind to duck under a tackle before breaking.
If we look at the referee showing Remy Engelbrecht a yellow card for foul play or throwing the ball away once it's already been out in touch, is something we don't like to see. As we look at Bishops finding touch again.
Yeah, there's an opportunity now for Bishops. It would be at this moment in time with Paul Roos down by a man. The space is certainly now on the outside, and Bishops within an attacking line out inside Paul Roos' half of the field.
Aidan Neal again with a good carry. As we look at Rose has replaced Goodwin in a scrum off, cousin of all Rose. Strong carry there by George Spencer again. Rose out the back there. Ross Doyle again with his hands on the ball. As we look at Matt Norton getting involved like he always does. Rose, Kenny, strong carry looking for the offload. Ball just taking its time to get out of there. Rose again, Labuskachny. Paul going out. Ross Goodwin. Paul Ross has turned this over, and Bishop's not really taking advantage of the one man at the moment. They've played some good phases there, Tariq, but they just managed not to keep the ball in hand at the end.
Yeah, I think the fact that they are a man up is kind of, it's playing on their mind a little bit, that they have to try and speed things up, and it's proven that it hasn't gone their way. Players worrying about carrying the ball before even catching it. So they just got to settle it down at the moment. Keep things calm. Yes, you are a man up, but the only way you're going to score is if you maintain possession.
Let's look at Jars. Daxon again, he's been used to carry the ball up the middle for this match. Jars out to Mustard, changes direction and kicks in behind the pack of forwards, and looks like it is Goodwin who's moved to the right wing, his preferred position. And now Rose finds Goodwin with some space. It can be very, very dangerous. And again, Bishop's trying to just keep the ball in hand as they always do. And great turnover there by Cameron Dawson for Paul Roos, putting pressure on that ruck, forcing the Bishops boy to come from the side.
And once again, excellent basics. Getting to the ruck early. Ensuring that he remains on the feet, gets his hands on the ball. Hangs on for dear life, waits until the referee sees what he's doing, and forces the turnover.
And a very kickable penalty taken by John Mustard for Paul Roos, trying to just extend that lead to 7 points and give him some breathing space, especially with the man down. Only 14 men on the field for Paul Roos at the moment. They'll look to take this penalty, slow down the game a little bit, and trying to create some breathing space between them and Bishops.
Yeah, it eats up a little bit of time as well for the guy that's in the bin. So not only that, but you're a man down, and you might end up outscoring your opponents 3-0, as we see the kick go straight down the middle, and Paul Roos opening up that lead to 25-18 after 16 minutes in the second half.
John Mustard's been good today. Tariq, he's influenced the game positively every time he put his hands on the ball.
Yeah, not only that, but the decision that he's been making has been excellent. He's known when to carry, he's known when to pass, and those little tactical kicks that he's placed in has always found space and put Bishops on the back foot.
As a look at Rose start the game for Bishops, and turnover, or managed to keep possession from that, and Rose organising his forwards. Okay. Sharples, strong carry by Sharples. Rose, Labuskachny out the back to Spencer. Ipsa again with his hands on the ball, and he does well Another offload there to Spencer. Strong carry up the side as we look at Goodwin now on the right wing trying to clean out. Great defence by Paul Roos, forcing that turnover, and Matthew Cordy getting over the ball and milking the penalty, as they say.
Gets himself into a very strong position over the ball. Ensures that he cannot get cleaned out from that position in a low centre of gravity. And once again, excellent work at the breakdown from Paul Roos.
And interestingly enough, Matt du Plessis, who started the game on the right wing, has now moved to the flank, and he's the one that's been winning the kickoff, saw them every time. And with that wet change, we've got Ross Goodwin, who started the game at scrum off, moving to the right wing.
Now that's certainly what we see at schoolboy rugby. You get versatile players. You start off in the back line, you end up in the pack. Unfortunately there for Paul Roos, that line-out feed is going a bit skew. Bishop's ending up with possession again, and they'll have the scrum feed. Tell you one thing, Andries, even though Paul Roos has got the bigger and the stronger pack, Bishop's have certainly held their own at scrum time.
They definitely have. They've been brave throughout this match, and they've held their own since the start of it. And now a Bishop's scrum, and remember, Paul Roos only 14 men on the field, and the backline player down. As you look at Mostert defending on the left-hand side in place of Remy Engelbrecht, who's keeping the bench warm at the moment. As a wind starts to pick up slightly as we move on to the latter part of this match, and a little bit of a northwest out here today, and probably making it tougher for Bishops to get into the half of Paul Roos.
Yeah, I'm sure Mostert would have identified that the wind is picking up slightly, so every time he gets the ball, he's going to look to use that wind with those tactical kicks to put Bishops up on the back foot inside their own 22.
Labuschagne, Spencer, long ball out there to Matt du Plessis. Great fend and still going. Offload there. That's McDonald. Great defence by Paul Roos. Working hard to get the tackle in. Roos. Spencer. Kenny. Space out here as you look at Goodwin. Goodwin to the corner. And Goodwin's over. Great try there by Bishop. Outstanding play again by Matt du Plessis. Showing the hand off the fend. Getting the ball out wide, and great skill again. Khalid Kenny seeing the space on the outside, and Goodwin doing amazingly well to finish that off.
And I all started there with the du Plessis break, carrying the ball in his left hand, allowing the right hand to fend off two defenders, breaking the line, getting his side on the front foot. Then it was a quick recycle. Ball gets out from Roos to find Kenny. Kenny spots the overlap on the outside, and can this hooker do anything else?
Just have to correct myself. I said earlier that Matt du Plessis moved to the flanking position. He hasn't. He's just moved to the left wing, and Ross Goodwin on the right wing, and obviously Roos has taken over at scrum off. As we look at Khalid Kenny lining up this kick, trying to equal the score. 15 minutes to go. Ball just slipping past the left hand upright there, and Paul Roos still leading this game 25-23, and what an exciting finish we can expect from this.
Yeah, absolutely. Bishop's still not giving up. They're still plugging away. They still keep going. And I think with that conversion of Kenny, we could see the influence of the wind a little bit. It drifted the ball left of the uprights. But like you said, we're in for an exciting final 15 minutes of this game.
Roos, Fuller running this young fella. Goodwin going into the number 9 position that he's filled in for this whole game. We get Aiden Neal, another strong carry. Goodwin, Labuschagne, Spencer out, Ipsa again into space. Finding du Plessis, he's been good this match. Strong defence by Paul Roos as we look at them trying to put pressure on that rack again. Roos, Labuschagne, Matt Norton. Good defence by Paul Roos. Roos opting to go to the blind side. Spencer, McDonald, Ipsa again. Great offload. Will go hand off by Ipsa. Tough to get close to in those lanky arms. We look at Roos. Norton again with offload. Good defence by Paul Roos. Labuskaghni. Spencer again. Over the head of Kenny, and I've got Ross Goodwin with his hands on the ball again, doing really well to beat the first tackle. He's still going. Clean out by Khalib Kenny. Ball pops out for Rose, who finds Labuskaghni. Strong carry up the midfield, and Ben Nell, who's replaced Ross Dwell. Rose, Labuskaghni, Spencer. Long pass out there. Tim Sharples into space, just trying to find the outside. Ipsa again. Ipsa with a great hand-off again, and Bishop's keeping hold of this ball. Must have been 12 phases now, and Paul Roos not rolling away. Rose, Labuskaghni, Neil. Good defence by Paul Roos. Philip van Dijk trying to get his hands on the ball. Rose up the blind side again. Over the top to Duplessis. Or was it Ipsa with a carry there? Penalty advantage to Bishops, and an unbelievable opportunity for them here to take the lead.
You can certainly feel that the momentum has shifted the way of Bishops. You know, they're all of a sudden very confident with ball in hand. They're running hard lines. They're getting themselves over the advantage line, and you know, for probably the first time in the game, they've had the Paul Roos defense at 6s and 7s.
They're doing what they know how to do. So they know how to run with the ball in hand. That's what they've been doing their whole school careers, and they're showing us that they're good at it. Interesting option here, opting to go for the touch and the drive against what has been a dominant pack throughout this match. Remember, Paul Roos back to the full 15 men again. Great take there by Felix Burt. Paul Roos doing well to get that maul to the ground as we look at Kenny digging to get his hands onto the ball. Ball pops out. Rose, Labuskaghni. He finds us. Labuskaghni shows the ball and gets in under the try. Under the post. Great try there by Labuskaghni. Show the ball. Beats the first defender, and that surely is a 7-pointer for Bishops.
Excellent work from the Bishops back to secure that ball at line out time. Ball popped out. Rose gave it off, and Labuskaghni with the presence of mind to take on the Paul Roos defense, got around his defender, sniped through the gap, and all of a sudden Bishops are in the lead.
Khalid Kenny just nudging it over for 7 points, and then the gamble paid off. I was surprised that they take the option of the line out. The maul got sacked. Ball popped out. Rose did well to get the ball into the hands of Aiden Labuskaghni, who showed the ball outstandingly well, forced himself past one tackle and under the poles for a 5-pointer, converted to 7. And now all of a sudden, Bishops leading by 5 with 10 to go as we look at Mustard starting this game. And very fortunate there for Paul Roos. Mustard kicking that ball a couple of yards too far, and Rose just couldn't get his hands onto the ball. Or probably should have just stepped out and caught that and forced a scrum on the halfway. So look at Labuskaghni showing the ball, showing the dummy, forcing his way through, and a great try.
Can you imagine the confidence that Labuskaghni had to take that ball through that half gap with 2 defenders in front of him, and just back himself to get himself through it, and it's exactly what he did. Got the try under the uprights. Easy conversion for Kenny.
Brayton Maritz with a carry up the midfield there as we look at knocked on there by Paul Roos, with now Bishops with their hands on the ball again, and they look dangerous every time they've got the hand on the ball. Strong carry there by Ben Nell, who's come on and made an instant impact on this match. Tim Sharples again with an offload. Bishops looking immense, they're looking immense at the moment. Great turnover there by the captain, Rufus Dixon. Great tackle by Bishops. Jars out to Remy, supported by Kotza. And all of a sudden this game's taken on new intensities as we look at Reino Niemann, the replacement, lock forward, carrying up the side of the ruck there. Jars. Van Dijk. Another strong carry by him. Jars again. Kotza still going. Strong young individual he is, and he's lost that ball. Bishops get their hands on the ball again, forcing the turnover. Rose. Labuskaghni. Spencer. Ball not going to hand. And Ibsa just nudging that out into touch, and that's been an exciting phase of play again.
No, absolutely. both sides. You just feel that the intensity has lifted a bit. You know, the schoolboys in the stands are getting into the game now. You know, they're starting to make a noise. They're starting to lift both sides, and you know, certainly exciting stuff. Yes, maybe a little bit too overzealous sometimes. Ball's not finding the guy. You know, maybe wanting to carry the ball that extra meter too long and losing it in the tackle. But nevertheless, you know, it's still an exciting game. It could still swing either way with the last 7 minutes.
Definitely, and Paul Roos under pressure for the first time in this match. As we look at a couple of changes being made, we look at Willem van der Heever coming onto the field, then Rayleigh Lefeu just coming on for Bishops. As we look at Brayton Maritz just jogging off, he's had an industrious game today. Worked hard in the tight phases of this match. As we look at Josh trying to start this scrum, and then for Bishop, Rayleigh Lefeu on the field.
It's an important time in the game right now with Paul Roos having an attacking scrum just outside Bishop's 22. You know, one would certainly feel that, you know, should Paul Roos end up successful with this attacking play, that they will come out on top of the result.
Mostert again up the middle. Good defense by Bishop. Jars finds Van Dijk. Their Craven weak player, open side flanker. Offload there to Carlo Louis. Great defense again by Ipsa. Finding the replacement, Rainer Niemand. Good defense there by Bishops. Ball popping out and turned over by Bishops from the wrong side. Referee says penalty to Paul Roos. And now they've got decisions to make.
As we've seen, you know, the momentum shifting again. This time Paul Roos has got their tails up. You know, they're looking to throw everything that they can in this last few minutes, and once again we see it. You know, Paul Roos have been strong at scrum time, so you know, it's an excellent attacking opportunity. You know, plenty of space out wide, slight little blind side, and I don't see anybody lined up there for Paul Roos, but Bishop is covering it nonetheless in case they do decide to do an 8-9.
Yes, this Paul Roos scrum has been strong, but like you said earlier, Bishops have stood up to it quite nicely. But they'd like to get Henry Jacobs, JJ Kotze and Cameron Dawson. They'd like to see them get stuck in and put some pressure on this Bishop scrum. And with only 5 minutes to go, it's a crucial part of the game. It's a crucial time of the game and an ideal opportunity for them to get back in the lead. Rose and George just having a little conversation about who has the right of way. Solid scrum by Paul Roos. Jars. Mostert. Show and go, and good defense there by George Spencer. Jars waiting for his force to come around, and then gets Van Dijk. Good tackle again by Bishops. They've shown a lot of heart. Jars finds Venter. Regan van der Westhuizen on the right hand quarter getting stopped short again. Paul Roos still with position. Reino Niemand, the replacement, lock forward again with a good carry. Jars, strong carry again there by Matthew Cordy, and good defense by Bishops. They've stood up nicely to this Paul Roos attack. Derksen with a strong carry, getting just a couple of meters away from the try line, and Bishops will have to know what to do right now. Just look at Jars just digging to get his hands onto the ball. He finds Mostert again with a show and go. Great defense there again by Bishop. Jars, pick and go through the middle. Jars again. Finds Cameron Dawson. Cameron Dawson is only a couple of meters away. Jars. Dirksen getting stopped right in front of the uprights. Trying to get over. Ball just popping out there. Paul Roos right under the uprights here. A couple of meters away from the triangle. Space on the right. So we look at Paul Roos, and there is that Remy Engelbrecht getting over. The man who got sent off early in this match scores a try, and a crucial try for Paul Roos with only 3 minutes to go.
Yeah, we saw there once again Paul Roos just keeping the continuity again, keeping patient, taking the ball through the phases, a few pick and goes, forcing the Bishops players to commit numbers to the breakdown, eventually leading to an overlap on the outside. Ball gets sent out wide to Remy Engelbrecht. shrugs off the last defender and pops himself over the line.
Well worked try again by Paul Roos. They managed to keep their hands on the ball for an extended period of time. They put the Bishops defence, which has been immense during this game, they put them under a lot of pressure, and then eventually they just ran out of numbers. Remy Engelbrecht shrugging off one tackler and going over for the try. As we look at John Mostert fly off of Paul Roos trying to get the lead for them. Important kick for John Mostert. Gets a good strike on it. And goes over, and Paul Roos takes a 2-point lead with 3 minutes to go and everything to play for at the moment. And it's outstanding finish we've got going here. We've seen some great rugby this afternoon, and the next 3 minutes will be as exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. What an end that we're going to get to this game now with this last 2 minutes and a bit. I'm sure Bishops will be digging deep in this last few minutes. They will be taking the attack to Paul Roos, and I'm sure we'll see Roos exactly what I thought. A high hanging kick, getting his players to contest it, but well taken there from Paul Roos.
Great take by Paul Roos as Johan Bauer. Someone we've not mentioned at all today, but he's been all over as well. He's had a strong game. Assistant Day carries again, tackled there by Tim Sharples. Jars finds Mostert, pressure by Bishops. Collier Louis opting for the grabber kick in behind. James Ipsa, he's dangerous with ball in hand. Again shrugs off the first tackle. Great defence there by the try scorer Remy Engelbrecht, forcing the turnover, and Brendan Fenter coming away with it. Strong leg drive by Brendan Fenter, and Paul Roos seems to have found new energy off the back of that try, and Jars again with his hands on the ball, and Van Dijk waiting for it. Jars with a little kick over the top. Great chase by Remy Engelbrecht, and now James Ipsa with the space and a couple of forwards, and a great tackle there by Paul Roos. An offload to Matt Norton. George Spencer, a good one again, finding some space. And Bishop with an opportunity to get some points on the board in the last couple of minutes of this match. Strong carry there by David Curie, Labuskachny. Duplessis again finds the outside, offload. Bishop's looking ominous with the ball in hand, and again Roos, Kenny looked after by Paul Roos, and Roos again, Labuskachny. Good defence by Paul Roos, but Labuskachny keeps going. Roos again finds Spencer. He moves it back to Burt, the vice captain. Good tackle by Alexander Mbete is on for Paul Roos. Roos again, opting to go to the left side. Norton. Ball's just popping out. Now we've got Labuskachny. Nowhere to go. Is Hanru Jacobs with a good tackle on Labuskachny. No scrum off there as we look at Felix Burt trying to get his hands on the ball. He gets the ball away. George Spencer up the middle, gets the offload away to Benjamin Nell, who's made an impact since he's been on the field, and Philip van Dijk turning that over, or has he? Ball comes back the way of Bishops. Roos, Tim Sharples again going across the width of the field. Norton with another good clean out. Roos, Kenny with a great step, looked after nicely there by Paul Roos, who's at Matt Duplessis up the middle. Roos, Labuskachny, Curry out to Sharples. This guy's dangerous. Goodwin inside to Sharples, forced into touch by Paul Roos as Matthew Cordy. And what is a large play of the game, and an unfortunate finish to Bishop, but an outstanding finish to this match. As I can just look to my left here, Dean Sunning, exciting match, disappointing finish for Bishops.
Thanks, Andres. I think it's one of the best games I've seen between these two teams, and I've seen many. This was an advert for schoolboy rugby if ever there was. Both sides played fantastic rugby. Both sides turned pressure into points. Both sides defended well. The fact that it came right down to the wire, I think a draw would have been a more fair result. And honestly, what a game of rugby. Hats off to Paul Roos. They played out of their socks. Hats off to Bishops, they played out of their socks. But the most important thing about today's game was the advert, the way they played the game. They kept the ball. How many kicks were there? If it was a kick, it was a kick to get out of trouble, or a box kick. Otherwise, it was ball in hand. The defence was superb. The first phase possession was superb. It was just an absolute fantastic game of rugby.
I certainly echo your sentiments there. Perfect advert for schoolboy rugby. Both sides confident with ball in hand. Comfortable with sending it out. Getting every single player involved in the game. We've seen some bruising tackles. We've seen excellent first up tackles. So a few line breaks here and there. What a game. Well done to both sides for coming out and putting themselves on the line and displaying this type of game.
Tariq, it's been amazing, and what a perfect setting this is to watch a match of rugby in Stellenbosch, just around the corner from the Donny Craven Stadium, who's the father of South African rugby. Immense advert for schools rugby, for rugby in South Africa. And we've seen some great tries, good defence, great skills exhibited today. The game was played in excellent spirit is something that we have to mention, and a result, like you said, Dean, maybe a draw would have been a better result here, but both sides had an opportunity to win it. Paul Roos went out to the end and clinched the victory of what has been an outstanding afternoon. Thank you very much for watching. Tariq, thank you very much for being here today, and Mr. Sudding, thank you very much for joining us. Good afternoon.